What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Spin Tires, and I know you guys have been waiting for this video. I've been waiting to do this video. This is where we experiment with the sled pulling on Dirt Time version 3. Now, in order to get these to work, what the creator had to do was put a garage right where the start of the sled pull is, so that allows you to apply the weights to the sleds. Now, I'm going to switch to one of the sleds real quick, and I'll show you guys how this works. You switch to the sled, because the sled, like, technically counts as a truck, and you've got different amounts of weight. You've got, and it's measured in, like, just mass, which I'm not sure how I'm not sure how that equates to any other form of measurement in terms of the game, but it goes from, your lightest is 2,500, and your heaviest is 15,000. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start out with 2,500 and see how that is, and see how difficult that is for the Ford Super 6 to pull. And then we brought this little Jeep JK along, and we're gonna see if we're gonna compare it, see how it actually does, because I want to actually really figure out how these are, you know, to pull, like actually how these are to pull and how these are to use, because I've never actually tried this before, so it's literally my first time seeing if these even work. So, I'm very curious. Oh, God. That's actually the creator of the map, literally right now. So, let's put the 2,500 weight on the sled. And then, let's go ahead and... Now, if we start this engine, I don't really know if that actually does anything or not. But let's stop it real quick. Because I'm not sure if there's a specific procedure. I'm just going to see if we can pull it, like, as is. So, let's go to here and set off and see what happens. Okay, so on 2,500, that's pretty easy. That's pretty easy, I have to say. That's like, we're in 4th gear in automatic mode, just kind of pulling it to the end, no problem. Yeah, that's too easy almost. So... this is getting rescued back to that to that garage, and I don't know. Hopefully, it just rescues to the exact same. Uh-oh. It doesn't. Oh God. Okay. Well, we can't drive it, or can we drive it back? Oh, we can drive it back. Okay. Because I was gonna say, if we can't rescue it back, at least let us drive it back. And thankfully, it's not that far we have to back it up. It's just a little bit of a ways. But that was really, really easy on 2,500. So I'm going to go all the way up to 15,000 and just see how big of a difference that actually is. All right. We'll go ahead and wait for the garage to pop up. And, all right, let's see if we get rid of 2,500 and install 15,000. Oh, my God. Okay, that completely bottoms the front end out. This should be good. This should actually be, you know what? If it's bottoming the front end out, maybe we want to start out with something a little bit less crazy. Let's go to 7,500. 7,500 brings it into the ground a little bit, but it doesn't bring it all the way down. And I feel like the Ford Super 6 was kind of a weird vehicle to use, like, starting off for this. But we're going to use, like I said, we're going to use more vehicles with this coming soon. And also, we're going to do this in multiplayer, because this was designed for multiplayer. Just like the race over there, just like the mud bog, this was all designed for multiplayer. And like I said, I'm going to be doing it with Jeep Guy very soon. But the only problem is, Jeep Guy, it's funny, sometimes you have to really, like, sometimes you have to persuade him. And, because he's like, dude, yeah, like, maybe we could do it tonight. And then, like, I'm like, bro, I'm not calling you out, Caleb, if you're watching. Oh, that's definitely harder. That is definitely a lot more difficult. It can still do it, but it's a lot more difficult. Yeah, this would really be a good test of, you know, of how much torque these trucks are making, and especially if you've got one in the other lane. Because when we were on 2,500, like the weight was 2,500, the truck shifted up into 4th gear, no problem. On 7,500, it's like, it has trouble getting up to, like, you know, second. And when it gets up to second, it stays there. The only problem with running this much weight is that it takes forever to get back. It takes forever to back this thing all the way up. because for some reason it won't let you rescue. So, oh god, are you gonna go off the edge? Please don't go off the edge. I'm gonna try and get it back straight again. If I can. I don't know if I can get it back straight again. No, it's just going for the edge. The only way... Tell you what, we'll leave this one here for now, and we'll try with the other one, and if the other one gets into the same situation, we'll figure out what to do with it. Let's see if the Jeep can do anything with these. Because I know it's really not made for this. And this is completely stock. Like, this is on stock tires, stock power. I'm going to try it on 2500 first and see if it can actually even budge 2500. Somebody said this was a TJ. And I was, they were like, dude, that's a TJ. And I'm like, this is a JK. If you look at the front of that Jeep, this is a JK. Let's try 5,000. Because 2500, well, yeah, you know what? 2500. It is a stock JK. That wasn't made even in the slightest for this. Are we ready? Let's go. Okay, so it pulls 2500 actually really well. It's pulling the sled a little sideways, but for some reason, yeah, this Jeep keeps wanting to track sideways. I'm not sure why. It's got alignment issues like every other lifted Jeep Wrangler. What I wonder is now that there's nothing back there, can we rescue? Nope, we cannot. So that leaves us with only the option of reversing. Thankfully, we can still reverse straight back, unlike the other one, which is like just... The other one just wants to get stuck on the edge. But now we can literally have our own... We can even have our own, literally, like, our own diesel power challenge here. And you can even use these as a little drag strip. You don't even have to have the weight sleds here if you don't want them. Like, if you don't want them here, you can just move them. You know, you can just move them. You can use them for sled pulling. You can use them for, like, you know, dirt drag racing. You can use them for pretty much whatever you want. And now, we're going to back the Jeep up, and we're going to turn the weight up just a little bit. We're going to probably put it on 7,500. And then, to finish it off, we're gonna turn one of these up to 15,000 and use the Super 6 to attempt to pull 15,000 and see what it can actually do. See if it just bogs it down completely, or if it can actually make it to the other end. I feel like the Super 6 can. The Jeep probably could not. The Jeep, I feel like, would have no chance with that much weight at all, but we'll have to see if it actually is able to move it. Alright, we'll get, let's see. Garage gonna come up? There we go. I was like, where's the garage? Okay, 5,000, 10, 7,500 might be good. 7,500 for the Jeep. Because that weighs down the front end of the sled a lot. Let's make sure we're using the right winch source. Like, you really want to make sure you're actually using the hitch and not something else. It'll move it. It's surprisingly enough, it will move it. It's slow, but it will move it. Surprisingly, it's like, come on, little Jeep. It's like it's almost heroic to watch this thing just try to pull that along. It's cool too because you can see the front end of it digging into the ground. But you could definitely see like the back end of the Jeep is really having to squat and really having to work, and you can see where that thing's making ruts. And I think this is what 7,500. This is close to what we just used the Super 6 for. All right, I'm gonna try and back that sled up, and if I can't back it up, like if it does the same thing that the Super 6 did, then we're gonna have to do something. Okay, yeah, it's doing the same exact thing that the other one did. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the Super 6 to pull it back to the garage. Because for some reason, it won't let you rescue it. Like, it's like that's just completely and totally off limits. Pull you back to the garage. And hopefully it doesn't pull itself off the side, like off the edge of the road or something. Because that does kind of worry me if it were to pull itself off to the side. but the sides do kind of keep it in the middle of the road, which is really good. Like, it doesn't, you know, you're not always having to worry about whether or not it pulls itself off the side. I'm just a little bit concerned about this fence. Come on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Okay, well, that doesn't really work. That doesn't work at all. And again, still, it's not even gonna let us rescue it. So that's like the biggest thing that bothers me. Like, if you could rescue these back to the garage, it would make everything so much easier. Can we unload the weights? Like, that's the other thing, is like, if we could either unload the weights or unload, you know, some other part of the vehicle, then that would make it so much easier. But unfortunately, it won't let it. Oh, there we go. Back up and use the winch. Just far enough that we can, like, that it'll count as being in the garage. Okay, perfect. So, we get 7,500 taken off, and then we can reposition, thankfully, because now all the wheels are on the ground. That's why you can't drive it, is because there's so much weight at one end that it pretty much just, like, it skews it to where it's only really, you only really have any grip on the front wheels anyway. The rear wheels have, like, nothing on them. But regardless, now we're going to go ahead and stick 15,000 on the, jeez. It just, the whole thing just falls into the ground. But I promised you guys I would try 15,000 and try it with the Super 6 before before the video was over. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, let's do this. We'll get this hooked up to here. And all right, 3, 2, 1, go. It can pull it. I just don't know if it'll get out of first gear. It's really digging up the track. Like, it's really, really digging up the track. But I will say it's a success because it does pull it, though. Like, if that's the criteria of whether or not this is successful, then it counts. Like, if this truck can pull it and that's the maximum weight, then it wins. Now all we have to do is line two trucks up next to each other, because then at that point it's an actual race. But I'm so happy that someone figured out how to make sled pulling a thing in spin tires and actually made it, you know, they actually made it work. It's not just kind of, you know, just a little side note, kind of sort of mildly thought out thing. No, it actually works, and it actually works properly. And I think that's the coolest thing, that they were able to get it thought out to the point where they could really make it work. So we'll definitely be doing more of this soon. I'm going to get onto this map with Jeep Guy, and we are going to we're going to have a little bit of a sled pulling battle, and we'll also try the racetrack out. So if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave us a like. Tell me in the comment section below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.